Are you a business owner or employee who needs to network but is terrified of walking into a room full of people you don't know? Are you afraid of being left out of conversations or being awkward in the conversations you do have? Your tour guide, Faithann, is here to walk alongside you through the networking terrain, offering tips and tricks to network with ease. She'll also bring insightful interviews with successful business owners who have used networking to expand their businesses. Building relationships is the heart of networking, and generosity is the cruise ship that will navigate you toward those important relationships for your business or career. Grab your sunscreen and suitcase. Faithann is ready. Are you?
Hello there, and welcome to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast. I'm your host, Faithann. I'm glad you found the show. Networking is providing opportunities for others that they would not have except for you, so that you have standing to ask for opportunities from people when you need them. How do we create opportunities for others, and how do we ask for those same opportunities? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. It's what I'm here for. Let's dive into episode 21. This episode is a solo episode, and we're going to talk about the county fair. Before we talk about that, though, I did promise in the last episode, episode 20, that I would read Amy Thurman's elevator pitch that we kind of created together during the last episode in my conversation with her. So this is what we came up with after I took the transcript and read through it and pulled those pieces that we were talking about and put it all into one thing, one structure, so that we have a clear elevator pitch that tells the room who we're looking for. And this is what we came up with, Amy and I came up with together for hers. Hello, I'm Amy Thurman with Polish the Mirror. I've lived the last 10 years with a broken neck. It was the experience of living with and healing from a broken neck that guided me to learn how to live better by showing up for myself and others authentically. I am now much more effective in all areas of my life, including the relationship I have with my children. My children and I laugh together, we are goofy together, and I've noticed something magical has happened as a result. My children are more open with me. Our relationship has improved. This week I'm looking for the friend with children you know that has been through a recent divorce and knows that there is relationship repair that needs to happen with their children. When your friend complains about the negative effects the divorce is having on the relationship they have with their children, or when they say, the conflict I'm having with my kids recently is about to do me in, ask them if they've considered seeking help in creating an environment where their kids feel free to be more open with them. Whether they say yes or no, ask them if they might be open to talking to me, and if they say yes, connect me to your friend through an email or a text. I'm Amy Thurman with Polish the Mirror. So clear, concise, painting a picture of who Amy's looking for. We went through the structure. Your name is clear. She says her name clearly, who she's with, a testimonial, which in her case is hers, and then who she's looking for. How do we connect? How do the people in the room connect Amy to those people once they've found them? And then finishing strong with repeating her name and the name of her business. That is what an elevator pitch could sound like for you. It's a way to make it easy for people to bring you referrals. And I do encourage you, if you haven't listened to episode 20, go back and listen to that one, where Amy and I flesh all of this out so that we could get to this. We talked for about an hour so that we could get to this minute, what I just read. All right, now let's move on to something that is underutilized for most business owners. And this is building relationships with other business owners who your clients are going to see either before you or after you. And I did talk about this in episode 3, a referral partner. So I talked a little bit about what a referral partner is. Those people that are more likely to send you referrals more frequently because you're part of that client journey. And so then I've thought of another way to think about this. I like to think of it as a fair. So when we go to the fair, we go see one thing, and then we go do another thing, and then we go do another thing, and we go do another thing. So we go and have a corn dog, and then we go to the fun house, and then we go visit the livestock building. We might go to the home and garden building, or we might see who won best apple pie, and then we might go on a roller coaster. So we're just going from activity to activity, and it's understood that this is part of the whole experience at the fair. So we don't go to the fair, eat a corn dog, and go home. We do the things. And so The nice thing about having relationships with people who are on the path of your client's journey is that you're not competing for that client's business. So if the insurance agent is asking the client, how old is your roof? And if it's determined that the homeowner needs a new roof and the insurance agent is going to suggest a roofer, then it's a natural way to bring you up and there's less competition because you're the recommendation. Or if a wedding planner is helping a couple and then she says, well, what are your plans for your honeymoon? And the couple says, well, we think we might want to take a cruise. And then the wedding planner says, well, who are you using to help you book your cruise? Do you have somebody that you're using to help you book your cruise? It's a natural way for you to come up. So the wedding planner and the travel agent are in the fair together, and it's understood that the client is not having to make a decision between whether or not to have a wedding or a honeymoon. They just go together. We're not making decisions between one thing or the other. We're saying what's next. And when you can be that business owner that's next, then that business comes more easily to you. So a real estate fair might look like a lender, a home inspector, a roofer, an insurance agent. So the client is just going from person to person to person because I've said this before, purchases don't happen in a vacuum. One purchase leads to another purchase. So when it comes to networking and referrals, we would want to know, what are our clients going to do next after they see us? What have they done before they see us? And whatever those things are, we want to build relationships with those people so that we can pass referrals to them. And why do we want to pass referrals to them? Because we want to build the rapport and we want to have the standing to ask for those same opportunities. If we're passing referrals one way steadily, it's natural they're going to want to do something nice for us. And if we make it real easy for them by saying, hey, when you come across this kind of person, would you consider referring me to this kind of person? This is my ideal client. And if you've sent that person several referrals because they're the next logical thing that's going to happen, they're more likely to agree to do that. And again, you guys aren't competing with each other, but your client is on this journey, is in this fair where they're going to visit you and this other person and this other person.
Hi, listeners. Are you someone who struggles to make a great first impression when you meet others? Faithann has put together her guide to help you make a great first impression no matter where you are. This quick guide gives you simple tips to leave a powerful first impression, the first step to relationship building. Go grab this free resource today by clicking on the impressions link in the show notes.
We want to be a good choice if our clients are choosing between us and our competitors. So that part is also important. That aspect of our business is directly competing with other people who do the same thing we do for business is good. And so that's why our website needs to be good. And that's why when we go to a networking meeting, we need to present the same experience for a potential client as they would have if they call our office. So we don't want to be one person at the networking meeting, and then when they try and work with us, it's a terrible experience, different than what it was like talking to us at the networking meeting. We want to have good sales strategies. We want to do that so that if a client is trying to find a good interior designer, they're going to pull up 3 or 4 websites. They may ask a few people, who do you recommend? And you want to be able to compete. You want to show your best, put your best foot forward in that scenario. But the fair scenario is a way where you don't necessarily have to compete because the client is going to go to you next, and whoever is there before you can has a lot of influence over that next step. If you're a contractor and you're serving residential clients, this is a great question to ask. You can say, what's next? What project is next? Let's say they've just installed a pool. You're the person who put a pool in their backyard, and now it's time to wrap up and And Mary is so happy with the job that you're doing or that you've done. And so you say, hey, Mary, I want to thank you again for your business. What's your next project? And they'll tell you. Maybe they don't have another project, but maybe they do. And if you start to notice a pattern that homeowners often, after they get a pool, they want this other thing done, then you build relationships with those people so that you can send a referral. Another good question is, if you're a contractor, as you're scheduling a job, whatever that job might be, maybe a new fence, you might ask the client, we have you scheduled for the 3rd week in March. Is there any other contractor that you're waiting on or that we are waiting on before we can start? Is there any other company that needs to finish their work before we can start ours? That's a great question. And whatever they say, now you know what people are doing before they hire you. Another good question to ask, this is in general to ask your client, is what pulled the trigger on your decision to work with us? Or something to that effect. We may think we know, but to hear it from the client themselves can give us good information about what's happening right before they decide to pick up the phone or they decide to send that email. And if you notice a pattern, often when people do this, I'm the person they see after they've just done this thing. Then you can go to those professionals and build relationships with them. And then what are they going to do after? That's such a great question to ask. No matter what business you're in, and you're going to curtail that to your business, however it makes sense for you. Now that you've got this, we've built this website for you. Are you happy with it? Oh yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm so excited to have some automation and a place to send potential clients. And I'm so excited about this website. And then you can say something like, so what's next? Now that you have a website, what's next in your digital world? What's next for you? And whatever they say, then go find those kind of people and build a relationship with them. Because you want to be the one that when the client tells you what their plans are to do next, you want to be the one who can say, well, I have somebody for you. Would you consider talking to my friend Mary? She is an absolute best at XYZ, and I think a call to her might be well worth your time. Because if you're doing a good job for your client, then you do have influence over them. You do, because if you're solving a problem for them, and then at the right time you're saying, what's next? And they tell you, and you say, how exciting. Hey, I have a contact for you. I think you should talk to this person. What would you think about sending them an email, or should I introduce you to this person? It's a great way to build rapport both with the other people that are in your fair, so to speak, and to be a resource for your client. And then you become much more valuable to your clients if you have a network of trusted business professionals that you can recommend, and you're being proactive at this. These questions are proactively looking for referrals because, again, purchases don't happen in a vacuum, and often there's a logical next step for your people. So think about who's in your fair. Ask your clients, what made you decide to say yes to XYZ? And if you ask it in a friendly tone, a non-judgmental tone, and you don't want to sound desperate. You don't want to be too excited because then you kind of scare them a little bit. But as you're working with them, you can say something like, is it okay to ask, what made you decide to pull the trigger on getting your home remodeled? What made you decide to take the leap and hire a business coach? Ask them, and then try and find out what they're going to do next after they've worked with you. What's next? You'll find that they're happy to share. If you're giving them a good experience, they're happy to share what's next for them. And that's an opportunity that you can create for other people that they would not have except for you, so that you have standing to ask for opportunities when you need them. Go network, my friend, and remember, try and find out who's in your fair and build relationships with those other people in your fair.
You've been listening to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast with Faithann Basor. Share this episode with a friend and be sure to come back next week for more networking tips and tricks from the Networkers Tour Guide.